So it's truly, once again, and to he who has an ear, let him hear. Attachments. Many of you have gotten too attached with things of this world, considering the day that we're in, considering the messages that I hear you teaching and preaching and reading from. And when I look at your attire, I look at your backgrounds, I see on your pages all of these different links for Cash App and Zelle and this different merchandise and this cool fancy clothing that you're wearing while you're teaching and preaching my word, while you're spreading the truth, while you're testifying and you're admonishing and encouraging, sharing the word. And you're doing it wrong and you're becoming money changers online. And I'm watching and witnessing it. I've been watching you, many of you, from day one. I'm Yeshua, Yahweh, the Hamashiach, and my brothers and sisters from the tribe of Judah. If any of you, in Matthew chapter 16, verse 24, my disciples, if any of you want to come with me, you must forget yourself and carry your cross and follow me. For if you want to save your own lives, you will lose it. But if you lose your life for my sake, then you will find it. Will you gain anything if you win the whole world but lose yourselves? Of course not. There's nothing you can give to regain your lives. For the Son of Man is about to come in the glory of my Father with my angels. And then I will reward each one of you according to your deeds. And I assure you that there are some of you here who will not die until they have seen me, the Son of Man, come as King. And I'm here. So don't think for a second that I'm not watching your channels, that I'm not leaving comments on your live streams. Don't think for a second that I haven't noticed you muting me and putting me on timeout. Don't think, the brothers that I've been watching, you know who you are, that I haven't seen this public display that you have been putting on amongst one another. All of you have become wealthy and successful on these channels, on the cloud, on my cloud. And you all have gotten too attached to the things of America, of this world. You've gotten more material possessions. You've gained more status. You've been buying more clothes and material items, and you're piling up on these things that you cannot take with you. So as we are in the last day, the day of the Lord, you are not to accumulate the things of this world from the success that you get from this cloud. All of the donations that you have been receiving through Cash App and Zelle and your merchandise is not meant to go back and buy Airbnbs and to purchase clothes and jewelry and watches. I don't want to see your shirts with your slogans and I don't want to see this anymore, these marketing gimmicks that you're doing when you're preaching my word, when you're leading my people, when you're leading Judah. We've been misled long enough. And this will not continue into the kingdom of heaven. We cannot continue this into the promised land. So I am admonishing each and every one of you right here, right now, to get rid of all of these attachments and these bills And these things, do you not see our brethren on the streets? I have left everything behind. I gave it all up because I know that Babylon will soon fall, and I don't want any attachments to Babylon. Because soon we will be caught up, and soon we will be entering the promised land. So prepare your provisions. Stop getting attached to these things as you preach my word, as you teach this word. You will not place these heavy yokes. You will not be as the teachers of the law and the Pharisees that I warned about in Matthew 23 when I spoke to the crowds and the disciples in my first coming, the teachers of the law and the prophecies are the authorized interpreters of Moses' law. You must obey everything they tell you to do. These teachers of the law and the Pharisees, the rabbis that you see in these synagogues, you must listen to them. You call them the synagogue of Satan. Yes, the word does call the synagogue of Satan. But many of these rabbis are also waiting on the Moshiach, on the second coming. These synagogues are empty. If you don't want to attend church on Sundays, then you will go on the Sabbath to the synagogue nearest you, even if you have to sell all of your provisions and come to New York. If you're in Florida, we must attend the synagogues. Judah, we must show up to the temples. You must follow the law. The teachers of the law and the Pharisees, they are the authorized interpreters of Moses' law. Whether they are the synagogue of Satan or not, or they stole our land, they never stole our land. They didn't. Whether they stole our land, they were sent there after the Holocaust. They changed their names. They converted to Judaism. And we are Judeo-Christians. So we as Judeo-Christians, we must obey and follow everything that they tell us to do. That is the teachers of the law. Our teachers of the law from Judah, listen to them. You may not agree with them, their ways, but listen to the teachings of the law. However, do not imitate, in Matthew 23, their actions, because they don't practice what they preach. They tie onto people's backs loads that are heavy and hard to carry. Yet, they aren't even willing to lift a finger to help them carry those loads. They do everything so that people will see them. Look at the straps with scripture verses on them, which they wear on their foreheads and arms, and notice how large they are. Notice how long their tassels are on their cloaks. They love the best places to feast and the reserved seats in the synagogues. They love to be greeted with respect in the marketplaces and to have people call them teacher, rabbi. But you must not be called teacher or rabbi, because you are all equal and have only one teacher. And you must not call anyone here on earth Father, because you only have one Father in heaven. Nor should you be called leader, because your one and only leader is the Messiah. The greatest one among you must be your servant. And whoever makes himself great will be humbled. And whoever humbles himself will be made great. So to all of you so-called leaders, teachers of the law, you fathers, you rabbis, you only have one Father in heaven. And you only have one teacher. And that is the Messiah. Paul is not your teacher. Peter is not your teacher. Muhammad is not your teacher. The Messiah, from here on, is your teacher. How terrible for you, teachers of the law and Pharisees, in Matthew 23, verse 13. You hypocrites! You lock the door to the kingdom of heaven in people's faces, but you yourselves don't even go in. Nor do you allow in those who are trying to enter. You will open up the doors of the synagogues to my people. To all of the children of Israel who have been deceived by church on Sundays, we will now come into the synagogues together on the Sabbath. Starting today, you will have courage and you will go to the synagogue nearest you. To he who has an ear, let him hear. Matthew 24, the coming of the Son of Man. Soon after the trouble of those days, the sun will grow dark, the moon will no longer shine, the stars will fall from heaven, and the powers in space will be driven from their courses. Then the sign of man will appear in the sky, and all the peoples of earth will weep as they see the Son of Man coming on the clouds of heaven with power and great glory. The great trumpet will sound, and he will send out his angels to the four corners of the earth, and they will gather his chosen people from one end of the earth to the other. And this is the gathering. Shalom. From yours truly, Yahushua HaMashiach, Yahusha, Yeshua, the Lion from the tribe of Judah. Peace and blessings, Shalom, to all of Judah, to all of the children of Israel. The time is now. The kingdom of heaven is at hand. Shalom.